The morning started like any other at Luna Station. Commander Ben Torres sat in his office, reviewing daily reports from the deep space monitoring arrays. Coffee steamed from his mug as he scrolled through the usual data streams, asteroid movements, solar flares, and the endless chatter of commercial shipping lanes between Earth and Mars. Then the signal arrived. At first, Ben thought it was interference. The audio crackled with static, but underneath the noise, something else emerged. A voice. No, multiple voices, harmonizing in ways that made his chest tighten with an emotion he couldn't name. "This is Luna Station to all Earth vessels," Ben spoke into his communicator. "Are you receiving an unknown transmission on frequency 847.2? "Negative, Commander," came the reply from the merchant ship Aurora's Dream. "Nothing on our end." Strange. Ben adjusted his equipment and leaned closer to the speakers. The voices became clearer, speaking in a language he had never heard but somehow understood. The universal translators kicked in, and words formed in his mind. "To anyone who can hear this message, we are the Keth of Endera Prime. Our world dies. Our children cry out in fear. We have no weapons, no armies. We know only peace, but peace cannot save us now. The Vex Dominion comes like fire from the sky. They take our young, our old, our everything. If there are others in the stars who remember what mercy means, please hear us. Please help us." The transmission repeated, but with each cycle, the voices grew weaker. Ben felt his hands shake as he recorded the message. In 30 years of space service, he had never heard anything so desperate, so pure in its plea for help. "Commander Torres to Earth Command," he called immediately. "Priority Alpha transmission incoming. We have a situation." While Ben waited for Earth Command to respond, something extraordinary was happening on the planet below. Dr. Lisa Chen was feeding the seals at the Marine Research Center in San Diego when they began to behave strangely. Instead of their usual playful barking, the seals gathered at the edge of their pool and began making long, mournful calls toward the sky. "That's odd," Lisa muttered, checking her equipment. The animals seemed agitated, but not in a threatening way. They appeared to be listening to something she couldn't hear. Her phone buzzed with calls from colleagues around the world. In Kenya, the elephant herds had stopped their migration to stand perfectly still, their trunks raised skyward. In Yellowstone, wolves howled from their dens in the middle of the day. Even in cities, dogs whined at windows while cats gathered on rooftops, all looking up at the same patch of sky. Lisa's assistant, Mark, ran into the lab with his tablet. "Dr. Chen, you need to see this. Every animal monitoring station on the planet is reporting the same thing. They're all responding to something, but we can't detect any unusual sounds or electromagnetic activity." Lisa frowned, her scientific mind racing. "Run a full-spectrum analysis. Check everything from infrasound to ultrasonic frequencies. Animals don't coordinate across continents without a reason." The answer came from Luna Station. Ben's transmission about the alien distress call reached Earth just as Lisa discovered that the Keth signal operated on bioelectromagnetic frequencies that resonated with neural patterns found in Earth's animal kingdom. The aliens weren't just calling for help, they were somehow speaking directly to the protective instincts that all living creatures shared. Within hours, the Global Defense Council convened an emergency session. General Amanda Hayes sat at the head of the table, surrounded by military advisors, scientists, and government representatives from every major nation. "The situation is unprecedented," General Hayes began. "We have confirmed alien contact, but not the kind we prepared for. The Keth appear to be a peaceful species under attack by an aggressive empire called the Vex Dominion." Dr. Lisa Chen spoke from the screen via video link. "The biological response from Earth's animals suggests the Keth signal activates ancient survival mechanisms. Every species on our planet seems to recognize this as a call for help." "But is it our problem?" asked Senator Williams from the North American Federation. "We don't know anything about galactic politics. Getting involved could make Earth a target. Captain Tom Rivera of the deep space vessel Gaia's Wrath stood up from his chair. He was a weathered man with gray streaks in his black hair and scars on his hands from years of dangerous missions. With respect, Senator, the animals on our planet have already chosen sides. Maybe we should listen to them. The room fell silent. Tom continued, I've spent 20 years exploring the outer systems. I've seen dead worlds, places where entire civilizations vanished without a trace. If we ignore this call for help, what happens when we're the ones sending it? General Hayes looked around the table. Captain Rivera, are you volunteering for this mission? Yes, ma'am. My crew and I are ready to depart within 48 hours. This would be a suicide mission, Captain. We know nothing about Vec's military capabilities or the distance to Endera Prime. Tom smiled grimly. Then we better learn fast. The next 36 hours transformed Gaia's Wrath from an exploration vessel into something the galaxy had never seen before. Dr. Chen arrived at the launch facility with a team of animal behaviorists and a proposal that made even hardened space marines pause. You want to bring animals into a combat zone? Asked Lieutenant Sarah Kim, Tom's second-in-command. Not just animals, Lisa explained, showing holographic displays of her research. Enhanced companions. The military has been developing combat partnerships with various species for years. War dogs with neural implants that can coordinate with human tactics. Ravens with enhanced intelligence for reconnaissance. We even have a pod of dolphins trained for specialized operations. Tom studied the data. You're talking about taking Earth's predators to an alien world. I'm talking about taking Earth's protectors, Lisa corrected. The response we've seen isn't aggression, it's the same instinct that makes dolphins save drowning swimmers or dogs protect children. The Keth signal has awakened something in our animals that humans created through thousands of years of partnership. Marine Sergeant Joe Martinez stepped forward. My unit has worked with the enhanced war dogs before. They're not just weapons, they're family. If they want to help, we should let them. Within hours, Gaia's Wrath underwent rapid modifications. Specialized life support systems for the dolphins went into the lower decks. Environmental controls adapted to handle various Earth species. Most importantly, neural interface technology allowed seamless communication between human and animal team members. The war dogs arrived first. 6 German shepherds with enhanced intelligence and neural implants that glowed softly blue at the base of their necks. Their leader, a massive male named Rex, immediately established himself as the pack alpha while somehow showing respect for human command structure. He understands the mission, Sergeant Martinez explained to Tom as Rex sniffed the ship's corridors. They all do. It's like they know we're going to help someone who needs it. The ravens came next, 12 black birds with enlarged skulls housing enhanced brains and tiny cameras behind their eyes. Their handler, Dr. James Wright, had worked with corvids for 15 years and still marveled at their intelligence. Ravens remember faces for generations, James told the assembled crew. They understand complex cause and effect better than most humans realize. These 12 can coordinate reconnaissance over an area the size of a small country. The dolphins required the most complex preparation. Maya, Echo, and Storm were the first military dolphins equipped with mechanical exoskeletons that allowed them to operate in various environments. Their sonar abilities had been enhanced to penetrate most known materials, and they could think in three-dimensional tactical patterns that even advanced computers struggled to match. They've been listening to the Keth signal, explained their trainer, Dr. Robert Chin. Dolphins understand distress calls better than any other species. To them, this mission isn't military, it's rescue. As launch approached, something remarkable happened around the world. Animals gathered at the edges of cities, in parks, on beaches. They didn't cause trouble or show aggression. They simply watched the sky where Gaia's Wrath would soon appear as a bright dot among the stars. Tom stood on the observation deck as Earth fell away below them. His crew was unlike anything in military history, 40 human marines, 6 war dogs, 12 ravens, 3 dolphins, and enough advanced technology to supply a small war. But more than that, they carried something no military force in the galaxy possessed. "Captain," Sarah said, joining him at the viewport. "Long-range sensors show we'll reach the Andera system in 6 days. What's our strategy when we arrive?" Tom watched Earth shrink to a blue marble against the infinite black of space. Somewhere out there, an entire species waited for salvation that might never come. Behind them, every animal on Earth had somehow voted for this mission with their strange, coordinated response to an alien plea. "Our strategy is simple, Lieutenant," Tom said. "The Keth asked for mercy. Earth's beasts answered. Now we show the galaxy what that means." In the depths of space, Gaia's wrath accelerated toward an unknown world where peaceful farmers faced an empire that had never encountered the fury of Earth's protectors. The ship carried more than just weapons and soldiers, it carried the combined protective instinct of an entire planet's worth of predators who had chosen to defend prey they had never seen. The Vex Dominion had conquered dozens of worlds and enslaved countless species. They understood fear, submission, and the mathematics of military superiority. But they had never faced an enemy that fought not for territory or resources, but for the simple principle that innocence deserved protection. In the ship's lower decks, Rex lifted his head and sniffed the air. Through the neural link, every human on board felt a flash of the dog's emotion, not aggression, but the ancient certainty of a guardian heading toward those who needed guarding. The ravens preened their feathers and clicked softly to each other, their enhanced minds already planning reconnaissance patterns for a world they had never seen. The dolphins sang in their tank, their sonar creating three-dimensional maps of the ship around them while their thoughts touched on tactics and rescue scenarios. Every animal on board understood something their human companions were only beginning to grasp: this mission would change not just the fate of the Keth, but the galaxy's understanding of what it meant to answer a call for help. As Gaia's wrath raced through the darkness toward Andera Prime, the last transmission from the Keth played again through the ship's speakers. The voices were weaker now, barely above a whisper, but the message remained the same. "If there are others in the stars who remember what mercy means, please hear us." Earth had heard. Earth had answered. And soon, the Vex Dominion would learn that some calls for mercy summon not just sympathy, but the fury of every creature that had ever stood between the innocent and those who would harm them. The beasts of Earth were coming. The Andera system appeared on Gaia's wrath sensors after 6 days of travel through deep space. Captain Tom Rivera stood on the bridge, watching the tactical display populate with data that made his stomach tighten. 3 planets orbited the yellow star, but only the second showed signs of life. Andera Prime hung in space like a wounded jewel, its green continents marred by dark scars where fires burned out of control. "Sensor report," Tom ordered. Lieutenant Sarah Kim worked at her station, her fingers dancing across controls. 17 Vex vessels in orbit, Captain. 12 are troop transports, 5 are heavy cruisers. They're maintaining a blockade while conducting surface operations. Surface conditions. Multiple impact sites across the main continent. Population centers under siege. The Keth appear to have retreated to underground shelters, but thermal imaging shows the Vex are using mining equipment to dig them out. Tom felt anger rise in his chest. Through the neural link, he sensed Rex and the other war dogs responding to his emotion with low growls. In the lower decks, the dolphins clicked urgently to each other while the ravens ruffled their feathers. "Time until they detect us?" Tom asked. "At current distance, we have maybe 30 minutes before their sensors pick us up," Sarah replied. "Captain, their smallest cruiser outguns us 10 to 1. This is going to be suicide." Dr. Lisa Chin stepped forward from her monitoring station. "Not suicide, Lieutenant. Evolution. The Vex have never faced anything like us." On the main screen, intercepted Vex communications played through the universal translators. The alien voices were harsh and mechanical, discussing their harvest operations with cold efficiency. Sector 7 cleared. Approximately 3,000 Keth specimens secured for processing. Resistance minimal as expected. Acknowledged. Begin mining operations in Sector 8. Command wants the entire population secured within 2 cycles. Tom activated the ship-wide communication system. All hands, this is the captain. We are 30 minutes from contact with hostile forces. Remember why we're here. The Keth called for help, and every animal on Earth answered. We don't fight for conquest or glory. We fight because innocents need protection. Take your positions. Throughout the ship, humans and animals moved with purpose. Sergeant Joe Martinez led his enhanced war dogs to the tactical deployment bay. The dogs wore specially designed armor that integrated with their neural implants, allowing them to communicate instantly with their human partners and each other. Remember the training, Joe told Rex, scratching behind the big dog's ears. We go in fast, we protect the innocents, and we come home together. Rex's response came through the neural link, not in words, but in pure emotion. Determination. Loyalty. The ancient promise between human and dog to face danger side by side. Dr. James Wright prepared his ravens in the reconnaissance bay. The 12 black birds perched on specialized launch platforms, their enhanced eyes already focused on the tactical displays showing Andera Prime's surface. You know what to do, James said softly. Map everything. Find where the Keth are hiding. Stay safe. The lead raven, a female named Shadow, clicked her beak once, the signal that meant understanding and readiness. Through their enhanced neural connections, all 12 ravens shared tactical data instantly, turning them into a single reconnaissance entity with 12 sets of eyes. In the aquatic bay, the 3 military dolphins floated in their mechanical exoskeletons. Maya, the pod leader, had worked with Dr. Robert Chen for 8 years. Her sonar abilities could map underground structures through solid rock, while her tactical intelligence had been enhanced to process 3-dimensional battlefield scenarios. The Keth are underground, Robert explained to Maya through the neural interface. Your sonar can find them faster than any of our equipment. But stay close to the team. Maya's response rippled through the water as ultrasonic clicks that translated to absolute confidence. Dolphins had been protecting other species for millions of years. This was just another rescue mission. Captain, called Chief Engineer Mike Torres. All systems ready. Enhanced life support is stable across all species. Neural links are at full capacity. Tom nodded and turned to the tactical officer. Begin stealth approach. Use the asteroid field for cover. Gaia's Wrath slipped between massive space rocks, its hull reflecting starlight like any other piece of debris. The Vex sensors remained focused on Andera Prime, confident that no one would challenge their operation in this remote system. 20 minutes later, they were close enough to observe the surface directly. The main view screen showed burning Keth cities and the elegant spires of their civilization reduced to rubble. Vex ground forces moved in perfect formations, their mechanical precision overwhelming the peaceful aliens who had no experience with warfare. There, Dr. Lisa Chen pointed at a series of caves in the northern continent. Thermal imaging shows large groups of Keth hiding in natural underground systems. The Vex are using heavy equipment to break through their defenses. Tom made his decision. Launch stealth reconnaissance. Ravens first. The 12 ravens launched from hidden ports in Gaia's Wrath's hull. To any observer, they would look like space debris, small, dark objects drifting toward the planet. But as they entered Andera Prime's atmosphere, they spread out in a coordinated pattern that covered hundreds of square kilometers. Shadow, the lead raven, dove toward the largest Vex encampment. Her enhanced vision recorded every detail, troop numbers, weapon placements, the locations of Keth prisoners being herded into transport vehicles. Through the neural network, all 12 ravens shared information instantly, building a complete tactical picture. Ravens in position, Dr. Wright reported. We have eyes on 6 major Vex operations. They're definitely harvesting the population, but the Keth in the caves are still fighting back. On the surface, Vex Commander Thrak stood before his tactical display, reviewing the efficiency of the harvest operation. The Keth had proven even easier to subdue than intelligence reports suggested. They had no military, no weapons, nothing but agricultural technology and a pathetic faith in some universal mercy that would never come. "Sir," one of his subordinates reported. "Thermal scans show approximately 50,000 Keth still hiding in the cave systems. Shall we deploy the deep mining charges?" "Proceed," Thrak replied without emotion. "The Emperor wants this world cleared for colonization within the cycle. Use whatever force is necessary." High above, Shadow watched the Vex prepare their mining charges, massive explosives designed to collapse the cave systems and crush any Keth hiding within. Through the neural link, her outrage transmitted instantly to every human and animal aboard Gaia's Wrath. "They're going to collapse the caves," Tom said grimly. "How long do we have?" "Mining charges deployed," Sarah reported, monitoring Vex communications. "Detonation in approximately 20 minutes. Tom looked around the bridge at his extraordinary crew, humans and enhanced animals united by a shared purpose. "Then we end this now. Launch all forces." What happened next had never been seen in galactic history. Gaia's Wrath dropped its stealth systems and dove toward Andera Prime like a falling star. But instead of engaging the Vex fleet directly, it deployed its true weapons, the combined fury of Earth's protectors. The war dogs launched in specialized drop pods that could survive atmospheric entry. As they fell toward the planet's surface, Rex and his pack coordinated through their neural links, planning attack patterns that no military academy had ever taught. They weren't just soldiers, they were pack hunters with enhanced intelligence and absolute loyalty to their human partners. The dolphins deployed in their mechanical exoskeletons, using anti-gravity systems to fly through atmosphere as easily as they swam through water. Maya's sonar immediately began mapping the underground cave systems, locating every group of hiding Keth while identifying structural weak points that could be exploited. Sergeant Martinez and his Marines followed in their own drop pods, but their landing strategy relied completely on intelligence provided by their animal partners. Through the neural links, they could see through raven eyes, smell through dog noses, and navigate through dolphin sonar. Commander Thrak watched in confusion as unidentified objects rained from the sky. His sensors detected the approaching ship but couldn't classify the smaller objects. "What are those things?" "Unknown, sir. They appear to be some kind of biological warfare system." The first war dog pack landed in the middle of a Vex patrol unit. Rex hit the ground running, his enhanced armor allowing him to move faster than any Vex soldier could track. But instead of attacking randomly, the dogs coordinated with devastating precision. They herded the Vex troops into positions where Sergeant Martinez and his Marines could eliminate them efficiently. "This is impossible," one Vex officer reported over communications. "The creatures are working with the bipedal soldiers. They're using pack tactics we've never encountered." Shadow and her ravens provided real-time intelligence from above. They identified Vex commanders by their behavior and equipment, allowing the ground forces to eliminate leadership structures systematically. The ravens' enhanced intelligence meant they understood military hierarchy better than most sentient species. Meanwhile, Maya and her pod dove into the underground cave systems through natural water channels. Their sonar revealed not just where the Keth were hiding, but the exact locations of the Vex mining charges. Working with engineer teams, the dolphins guided precise strikes that disabled the explosives without harming the geological structures protecting the Keth. "Sir," Dr. Robert Chen reported to Tom from the tactical bay. "Maya's found something. The Keth aren't just hiding randomly, they've created an underground city. The entire cave system has been adapted for long-term survival." On the surface, the Vex forces found themselves facing something beyond their comprehension. Every military doctrine they knew assumed opponents would fight in predictable patterns. But Earth's forces operated on principles the galaxy had never seen, interspecies cooperation based on millions of years of evolutionary partnership. Rex bounded through a Vex encampment, his neural implant allowing him to coordinate with 3 different Marine squads simultaneously. He wasn't following human orders, he was thinking alongside his human partners, adapting to situations faster than any artificial intelligence. Above him, Shadow Dove passed Vex aircraft, her small size and erratic flight pattern making her impossible to target. But she wasn't trying to attack the aircraft directly. Instead, she guided surface-to-air missiles launched by the Marines with precision that turned the Vex's own air superiority against them. In the underground tunnels, Maya's sonar painted perfect three-dimensional maps for the rescue teams. The Keth huddled in vast chambers carved from living rock, their gentle faces filled with hope as human voices called out in their translated language, "We're here to help. Earth heard your call." Commander Thrak's confidence crumbled as his forces reported impossible losses. How is one ship defeating an entire battle group? The answer came as Rex's pack surrounded his command post. The war dogs moved like shadows given form, their enhanced intelligence allowing them to predict and counter every defensive measure. When Sergeant Martinez approached with his weapon lowered, Thrak realized the terrible truth. "We surrender," Thrak said, his mechanical voice programming unable to hide his confusion. "What species are you?" "We're from Earth," Martinez replied. "And you picked the wrong people to threaten." But the real revelation came when the first Keth emerged from the caves. They were tall, graceful beings with large eyes and gentle movements. When they saw Rex and the other war dogs, something extraordinary happened. The Keth began to sing, not in fear, but in recognition. Their voices harmonized with sounds the dogs made in response, creating a melody that spoke of ancient connections between protector and protected. Dr. Lisa Chen watched in amazement as ravens landed peacefully on Keth's shoulders while the dolphins clicked in frequencies that seemed to comfort the traumatized aliens. "It's not just that we came to help them," she realized. "It's that they understand what we are. They recognize the relationship between humans and animals." Elder Sane, the Keth leader, approached Captain Tom with tears in her large eyes. "Your species," she said through the translator. "You are not alone. You brought your world's guardians with you." Tom looked around at the extraordinary scene, Marines sharing water with Keth children while war dogs played gently with alien youngsters who had never seen such creatures. Ravens performed aerial displays that made the Keth laugh for the first time in months. The dolphins sang complex harmonies that somehow conveyed safety and protection without words. "Yes," Tom replied. "When you called for mercy, every animal on our planet heard you. We couldn't ignore that." In orbit, the Vex fleet found itself surrounded by something they had never anticipated. More ships appeared from Earth, not a massive military force, but a diverse fleet carrying representatives from every nation and every species that called Earth home. The message they broadcast was simple: the Keth are under Earth's protection. Any further aggression will be met with the full response of our world's guardians. Commander Thrak, now a prisoner aboard Gaia's Wrath, watched in stunned silence as his fleet withdrew. "Your species," he said to Tom. "You fight for others you have never met." "That's what guardians do," Tom replied. Within days, word of Earth's intervention spread across the galaxy through Vex communication networks. Other oppressed species began broadcasting their own distress calls, hoping that the strange world where animals and humans fought as one might hear them too. In the depths of space, Earth's animal populations continued their vigil. Every pet and wild creature on the planet seemed to understand that their world had become something new, not just a home for humans, but a sanctuary that answered calls for help from across the stars. The Keth rebuilt their world with Earth's assistance, but they also built something else, the first galactic sanctuary for species fleeing oppression. And guarding that sanctuary were the descendants of Earth's first spacefaring animals, dogs, ravens, dolphins, and dozens of other species who had learned that the universe was vast enough for all creatures to live in peace. Rex, now old and gray, still wore his neural implant with pride. When young Keth asked him about the day Earth's guardians arrived, his response rippled through the neural network as pure emotion, the satisfaction of a promise kept, a duty fulfilled, and innocence protected. The galaxy had learned a fundamental truth: mercy was not weakness when it came backed by the fury of an entire planet's worth of protectors. And somewhere in the depths of space, other distress calls continued to arrive, knowing that Earth's beasts would always answer.